Hi, in this video we're going to be introducing writing your own Java classes, and the class we're going to take a look at is the bank account class, and my name is Patricia Baker. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, so far in your assignments you've been using Java classes that were already built for you, and the one that we're looking at here is a pretty common one, the scanner class. And when you use the scanner class was written for you, and you created an object of that type, and then were executed methods that were defined inside this class scanner. So we're going to take a different approach here. Now you're going to be writing the class and then writing code that utilizes methods that you define inside your class. And our class is going to be called Bank Account. So I'm going to pull up the first activity and let's take a look at that. So here's our activity for class, writing the bank account. And you will want to keep your code as you work through each of these activities. But we're going to be writing a simple class called Bank Account, and it is very simple to start out with. It just allows for deposits and withdrawals, and it can get its current balance. So a lot of times we'll represent classes with this design document here called a UML, or Unified Modeling Language Class Diagram. And it's divided into three areas: the name of the class, any kind of data, instance data that's associated with an object of that type, and then some special methods. So we're going to be implementing all of those methods. And then this is the structure of a Java class. And you'll notice that there is no main inside this class. So let's go ahead inside Eclipse and create Bank Account. And I'm just going to put those comments in there and we'll go from there. So I have Eclipse launched, and inside my Chapter 5 package, I'm going to go ahead and create a class. And I'm going to call it Bank Account. And you are not going to click that you want it to create the main method. So just go ahead and click Finish. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put the comments in that are listed in the activity. All right, so I have the comments put in here. And let's go back and take a look at our UML diagram, because that really tells us everything that we need to implement in this class. So it looks like I have just one instance variable called balance. Let's go ahead and pop that into our code. So we've coded in this first variable. These are special variables inside classes. They take on their data when an object gets created. This is new for us, this private access modifier. That tells us that this instance variable called balance can be seen anywhere throughout this class, but not outside the class. And that's a very important feature when you're writing object-oriented classes or classes, because you want to data hide or encapsulate your data. So let's go ahead and let's add the next method. I'm going back then to our design document. And I think we'll add this getBalance method first. Then we'll come back, or let's do the deposit method first. And then we'll come back and do some of these others. All right, so methods in classes are usually public. And we'll talk about the different components of a method here once I get this typed in. So when you deposit in your bank account, what are you changing? You're just changing the balance of that account by the amount that's passed in. So we're going to take the current balance and add the amount to that, and that will be our new balance, an object's balance. So let's take a look at the different components of methods, and on the back of your activity you have information regarding this. So let's go back and take a look at that. All right, so I'm looking at the back of your activity 1, and it has broken apart the different components of methods. So the access visibility modifier, which is public in this case, the return data type, which in this case is void, meaning there's nothing returned, the method name, which is deposit, and any formal parameters, which we do have one, it's the amount, and then whatever we want to have, whatever action we need to have done will be done inside the method body. So you've got some more information here you can read through, but let's go back to our code and take a look. Okay, so I'm following along on the model UML, and let's add, oops. All right, let's go ahead and add the withdraw method then. So it's going to have a public access modifier. It's not going to return any data. And when you withdraw from your bank account, you need an amount to withdraw, so that'll be passed into the method. And we're going to change the balance again by the amount. And then in this case, when you withdraw, you subtract the amount from your balance. So if you had $100 in your account and you withdrew $20, then you'd have $80 left in your bank account. All right, so let's implement the other method shown there, the get balance. And this data return type is actually a double, so it's expecting that a double data that's a double will be passed back to it. So when you have any data type, return data type that's other than a void, then you're going to need to put the return statement in there. And it's just like what this says. It says get your balance, so the object will return its balance, its current balance. So that's one line of code. Okay, so I'm back again to our activity, and we want to implement this method right here, which is a special method. It's called a constructor method. It actually, when it gets invoked, it actually creates or instantiates the object of this type, which happens to be bank account. So it would create a bank account object. You'll notice that it doesn't have any data return type, and it can't have a data return type. It may or may not have any formal parameters, and it's always public. So let's go ahead and implement that. Okay, so I'm going right from the UML. That's what's nice about having that. You know exactly how your design is supposed to look. So I'm going to get my shell there. And the task of a constructor is to initialize an object when it gets created, or another way of saying that is giving all of its instance variables values. So in our bank account class right now, we only have one instance variable, and it's balance. And let's just go ahead and set that equal to 0 to start out with. All right, so let's save this right now. You can't run this. This is really just a blueprint for objects that you want to create. And we're going to go ahead now and create our tester class. I'm going to go back to our activity document.